welcome back to Skyrim 1080. Not sure what episode it is. Probably episode 26.
That sounds right.
Let's just put that label on it for now. And we are currently in a split party situation with some discussion among the party about how best to deal with the situation at hand. In requiring, as they've been told by Avrusa Sorethi, the alchemist, that she needs a taproot, the heart of a spriggan, to be able to dispel or put an end to the curse effect of the poison that seems to be flowing through the waterways of Falkreath at the moment. Although battered, bruised, and a few spells down, the party decided to continue straight out and head to a location that is kind of known to the hunters and the travellers of the roads of Falkreath and such to Mouse, of where a spriggan could possibly be found. Heading there, they have the intention of trying to bargain with the spriggan, with an idea to sort of hopefully that they would aid them in this request. But if it came to it, they might have to get into a fight. So it was decided that Botti, because of her reasons of wanting to not harm the spriggan and the hopes that her party would do the best that they could and not harm it, she stayed behind with Avrusa, with having a spell or two remaining just in case she had fallen ill. And so did Jaquai, aiding her with her alchemical endeavors. And so Laniel and George headed off with Mouse and Luke to head down to this seems to be some old Nordic ruins that seem to be in the process of being reclaimed by the forests at the moment. They have a successful stealth approach by Mouse had told him that he had found two bears located inside the ruins, some sickly looking bears. But from what he could tell, he could not spot a spriggan, but they are notoriously difficult to spot unless they're fully out in the open at that particular time. So, without much to go on, George asked if she could take a quick look, and then accidentally caused some noise, which maybe has let their presence be known to the bears and whoever else inside. Just before we get started, I need everybody, everybody to roll a Constitution save. I forgot to do it before, but you've all been traveling now for longer than an entire day through the battle.
I don't have a saving throw bonus on that, so that's just con plus the modifier. I don't think I've done a saving throw for
Constitution modifier. Yeah, so just roll a d20 and then add your Constitution modifier.
Yeah. So 16 for me.
16, okay, you're fine.
Excuse me, 10 for me.
10, yeah, you're fine. And Botti and Jaquai?
I didn't know we were included in this. I did 15 plus 3 would be 18.
15, yeah, you're fine. And Jaquai?
13.
13, yeah, you're good. Used to had a less DC as well. So let's just roll for George. George 8, and she's got a plus 3, so yeah, she's fine. And Lenny, Lenny's fine. So none of you suffer a point of exhaustion. You're still able to carry on. So now, what would you like? Starting to hear some noise. What would you like to do? Doesn't seem you hear some noises and growling coming in for size and sort of like, you know, coming from inside the ruins. But it doesn't seem to be any signs of like, you know, running or anything like that you can hear yet.
I think we should go around towards the grade level entrance, I guess, and see if we can get a better look in that way. Does that sound good?
Unless you think we're destined to fight these sick animals, in which case
I was hoping to lure them out somehow and chase them off, but I'm not sure that's possible. If they're guarding something, we don't know if they're guarding something or why they're sick or why they look so sickly.
Lenny is just going to move. Oh, that was that was Lenny. I moved George. So George sort of like stopped there. It's kind of sort of like holding her hands up, and Lenny's just going to move in, getting close to her.
How steep is the little incline here?
Yeah, there's no. It's kind of steep. Well, not steepish, but yeah, it's an easy slope. So, but as you're looking down, you're probably about a good 10 foot. So, if you wanted to sort of like, you know, have a look in the area without the danger of something like instantly being like, you know, running at you, that's probably the best place to do it from.
Yeah. Well, given that they're already sort of alert to our presence, I'll come to, you know, sort of the same area. I guess Mouse came to about there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll step up there, and I'll endeavor to make my disadvantaged stealth check. I don't know that it matters at this point, but wow, better than my con check. Let's see, disadvantage. So actually not terrible. So 13 with disadvantage on a stealth check.
Okay, and you want to let's see, roll a perception check for me, please.
Okie dokie. Now is that wisdom or intelligence is the modifier?
Wisdom.
22 then.
22. Yeah. So, you notice the bears, and again you see what Mouse was talking about, and you see that this they seem to be sort of like holding firm in the stance. They are looking around them, and they do seem agitated and not at all well. But you also notice that this tree here seems slightly different from the rest of it, because you got over 20 in your perception. This one here does seem a little different from the rest, and the way the roots are down, they seem to be laying on top of the ground instead of sinking down into it.
So,
it's not moving.
Would I have ever seen a Spriggan in Cyrodiil?
Possibly. I mean, they're all over Tamriel. They're not just part of Skyrim.
Well, from Luke's description, would Mouse guess that was a Spriggan? That particular tree, which
it actually just looks like a tree. Only because of his high perception does it look. It still looks just like a tree, even to you, Luke. It still looks just like. But for some reason, it just looks slightly odd. It doesn't look exactly the same as the other trees, but other than that, it still looks exactly like a tree. It's just that as you see the roots coming out from the bottom of it, it's sort of like, you know, it's laying on top of the surface. It's not digging down through the sort of like broken up rocky floor, and it's like the other ones. So it just looks like it still looks exactly like a tree. It doesn't sort of like, you know, have a face. It's not glowing or anything like that. Nothing like the stories you've heard before.
Luke, those bears look like they're guarding something. Is it?
Yeah, that's yeah. With Mouse having said that and sort of getting a good sense, do I have a sense that the bears, or maybe are the bears guarding that tree? Is that maybe what they're close to it? Is that a sense of maybe what they're doing?
Maybe.
No, I still think we should try to lure the bears away from that tree somehow. I can go around and see if I can make a little noise. You guys are safe there for now. If I can sneak around towards the entrance, perhaps throw a rock and see if they move away from the tree.
Have a care.
Okay. All right.
They're faster than they look.
Yes, I know. That's one thing Mouse would know. All right, so Mr. DM, I'm going to move around here. Is that all right with you?
Yeah. We're not in a combat situation yet.
No, so I guess I'm just going to try to kind of hide. I guess since you said this is bermed up, maybe I can just hide in there. Is that a good? I can't really tell from this.
Yeah, you rolled a natural 20, wasn't it, on your stealth check, and that's still going. You haven't.
Oh, that's still effective. Okay, good. All
that's
right.
still effective. Yeah, you've come over and whispered to Luke and that, but you haven't done any actions that would pull you out of it.
All right. Well, I'm about to then, so I'm gonna hide right in here, and then throw a rock over in this direction. Over here. Is it? How do you get that?
Just hold down left click.
Ah, okay, cool. Like over there.
Okay.
So I have thrown a rock in that direction.
Okay. So you see their heads sort of like perk up, and they do hear the rock landing thing, and you do hear and this bear here actually sort of like moves around, and then it just moves to about there.
Uh-huh.
This one circles around sort of like the back here, and then you see this shrubbery suddenly grow bright and light, and you see these glowing green eyes and what seems to be the dissipating branches coming down, falling from the sides of it and turning into twigged hands as it moves around. But it doesn't move out of the space. It just moves around in the space, and the two bears come over. When it gets there, it moves back to the bears, and sort of like it puts its like a twigged hand. There's sort of like it's a tree branch, and it sort of like holds it over the thing, and sort of like this green light comes out, and you see the bear sort of like its eyes glowing, and you see this green magic aura spread across its fur and going down, and you see green veins go towards where the black veins are, and it's trying to get in and attach itself to where the black veins are, but it just ends up dissipating. It's sort of like trying to push against it, but the black veins persist and sort of like push back against it.
Okay. Has everybody seen that, or just me?
You and Luke have seen that.
Luke and I. Can he hear me from where I am?
If he can hear you, they'd be able to hear if you're going to say anything.
Well, I'm going to, since I can, I don't know. I'm going to sneak.
After your rock throw, roll another stealth check if you want to move again.
Okay, I'd like to move back around towards them. And that would be 14.
Yeah, so you're fine?
I'm fine. Okay, so I'm going to sneak back around this side and whisper to him, do you think those bears drank the water? I mean, I see the black veins. And the Spriggan, I assume that's a Spriggan. I mean, it looks like one, is trying to cure the bears. At least that's what it seemed like. Do you think you could cure the bears?
But this disease, poison, it's beyond my skills.
Yeah.
I can keep it at bay as we've done with Lanil.
Yeah. Perhaps if we could do something to help the bears, we could gain some favor with the Spriggan.
Yeah. I wonder if the skooma that keeps it at bay for Lanil will keep it at bay for these creatures. That's the only thing.
It's
that's
a risk.
The only thing.
Throwing some in there might it could aggravate the Spriggan, or if the bears drank it, it might help. I guess that's maybe a risk we'll have to take.
So Colin, I'm trying not to say it in character and sort of game mechanic terms, but like Spriggans, do either Mouse or I have a sense of, are they intelligent, slightly intelligent, very intelligent? Do we have any knowledge?
You roll a history check. Both of you, in fact, actually, with Mouse's experience walking through these forests.
Okay, for me, let's see, 17 for me.
16 for me.
Yeah, so fairly intelligent, probably intelligent than most humans you've probably run across in certain towns. They have intelligence to them. They're obviously very protective of what they're trying to protect. That's why they're there. But they have an intelligence to them. They have a speech. It's only when they're threatened or what the thing that they're trying to protect is threatened, then they have no qualms of like ending the life of the things that attack it.
Yeah. And do they speak? Do we have any knowledge of whether they speak Common or Ancient Nord?
They're magical beings that seem to have like a divine link to your patron, so more than likely they have easy access to be able to communicate with pretty much anything.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Luke, maybe if we walk in there slowly, if you hold up one of those bottles and just say, and perhaps your symbol of Kinneret.
That's we're of the same mind.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
All right.
So I think Mouse's suggestion that's really almost exactly what I was thinking. I feel we should not hide our presence from them any longer. And if any of the party hides, I worry that they will fear that we're ambushing. I fear we should walk toward the mouth. The three of you hang back. I'll walk in with my holy symbol in one hand and the skooma bottle in the other, and very slowly walk in and try to present myself as non-threatening and as a messenger of kind, and see how they react.
Okay, so they George moves back here next to Mouse, and Lenny comes over this side here.
So this area, this green area here, sort of from extending from here to here, is the flat entrance, right?
Yes.
Into the clearing. Okay. So I would suggest that Mouse, Lenny, and George kind of go over that way, and with and just stand quietly with hands visible, and I'll walk forward into the clearing as described. I'll have my warhammer at my belt, my shield in my back, and one hand holy symbol, other hand the bottle of skooma sitting in an open palm, and make the best of it. And next episode, it's the Body and Jaquai show with starring Mouse and Luke as bear food. And well, little did we know we're going to reboot the show right here.
Yeah. See if you can. Okay, we'll wait until you start off, and then we'll follow behind.
Yeah. So I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to try to be stealthy. I'm not going to, tankety tank it either. I'm just going to walk at a normal, easy pace to, kind of, skirting this and sort of go to here maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's so I'll sort of go around, kind of to there.
Yeah,
to
they'll
there.
come around here. That's
And
right.
I'll come to there, sort of, in view.
Yep.
That's what, 10,
Right.
25, 10, 15, 50, 60 feet, whatever. And that's where I'll pause, brandish the holy symbol, held not in any sort of threatening pose, but just sort of held at chest level openly, and the bottle of skooma in an open palm, and then just sort of gradually, walk forward, just very, very slowly, a few feet at a time.
And I'm going to shadow Luke quietly, directly behind him, hoping that my
As
stealth-
you sort of like to move in, you notice that Lenny sort of like comes up behind you as well, Luke, and he stands next to you, and he holds out his warhammer with holding it by the handle with the head of it down towards the ground, and he's sort of like just holding it there like he's holding like a long rope, like a rope that he'd pull for pulling a bell. He's just holding like that with his two hands, and he's just walking behind you as you're walking forward. They definitely see you now, because Lenny is with you. Make a general charisma check with advantage, since Lenny is helping you out here.
Okay. All right. What we got here? Ooh, that's pretty good. See what the advantage. That's the first one's better, so a total of 19 on a charisma check.
19. So, as you get here and your footfalls become heavier and heavier, and the metal plate of your boots clangs against the stonework floor, the spriggan instantly sort of like whips around and says that, and the bears sort of like flank either side of it, growling like that. You're holding up the symbol, and the spriggan sort of like has its twigged hand out as if it's going to start to attack, and then it sort of like it just stops gently, and it's just staring directly at you and directly at the holy symbol. And then it looks back at you, but it's still got its hand out, and the two bears are sort of like like that, kind of growling and getting sort of like an agitated look, sort of like shifting from side to side. But they're holding still at this precise time.
Spirit Guardian, we come to you on a mission of healing. Would you be willing to speak with us?
And you, for a second, you don't hear anything, and then suddenly inside your own head, you don't hear a voice outside, but inside your own house, you hear, are you the ones who have poisoned this forest?
We have defeated the one who poisoned the forest.
Then
And are
why does his
working-
poison still remain?
It does, we know. We are working with a powerful alchemist who believes that she can cure the poison of the forest. But we need your help.
They take from our forests, they take from our animals, they take from everything. And you expected me to trust you? You were going to give pieces of my forest, pieces of my friends, my companions, to this enemy of the forest.
My friends and I look, and I sort of pointedly look at Lanil. I don't understand what's going on here, but clearly there's something about his maul that has some degree of sway. We are friends of the forest. we, like you, wish to stop this curse. It may require sacrifice, and that's why we've come to speak with you. We come in peace. We come trying to do no violence, and we come to bargain with you to see if together we can stop this poison.
As you motion to Linneo, she looks at Linneo, and she looks back at you again. So you have already received a gift from us, and now you seek another. At this point, Lenny puts down the hammer, head down, with a bang, and then sort of like lets go of it, and he holds his hands out. Doesn't say anything. He just plops it down and holds his hands out. She looks at him, and then looks back at you again. Goes, "Our lady, your lady, wants these forests protected, and I am the one who protects this place, holds back its secrets and its evils. I do not trust you."
I motion to it. I look at his nod with my head toward the two bears. Have your companions been poisoned by the same force that's poisoned my friends? And
everything has been poisoned. There is a black vileness spreading through every tributary in this area, heading off west to the rest of my family. They have already felt its effects. Some animals have fallen to it already. If only the strong of them seems to be able to hold it off, but the younger and the small have already fallen.
And I extend the skooma bottle. This poison, and we humans call it skooma, has been further poisoned with the black substance, but it has the ability to hold the black poison at bay for a period of time. I've used it to keep the poison from killing my friend here, and I nod at Liddy. Would you like to try to see if it will help your companions? I don't know if it will work, but I give it to you freely if you think it will help them.
You cannot attack poison with another poison. You cannot attack fire with fire. We do not know what to slow down the effects of this. We want them gone. And you say you can do this. You say our enemy, this alchemist, can do this. Then why aren't they here?
She was the alchemist who made the poison is dead. And I nod to include my party. We killed him. Another alchemist, too sick to travel, is working to create an antidote to the poison. She requires, and I don't know how to say this. I'll just out with it. She requires a taproot to complete the poison, the potion to cure this poison. Can we entreat with you to take one back to her so that she can cure this poison?
You wish to sever my link to Our Lady. That is what binds me to the forest. That's what binds me to my family, and binds me to Our Lady. And I should offer this to you freely.
We will not take it. We wish to bargain with you. How can your connection to the lady be reforged? Is there anything we can do to help you reforge that connection?
I will not be lost, but I will no longer be able to guard this place, but I can come back eventually. But my friends here would surely perish very soon if I'm not here to hold back the effects of this poison. And if I'm not here to slow it down, it would run rampant through the rest of the forests. She goes, you bear the symbol of Our Lady, but I cannot be sure that you are definitely one of us. How do I know you are not some interloper or some pretender?
Mouse is going to step forward quietly and address the Spriggan. I feel in many ways responsible for this. Would you take me as hostage for the giving of your taproot until a cure is made and this poison is removed? I can stay and try to help defend your companions and keep you safe.
So, I am to trust the last one who killed me, am I?
Not
We
willingly.
remember you. The forest remembers you. And I remember your face
I know.
the last time you took me.
What's done is
Are
done.
you offering yourself to me now?
I'm offering myself as hostage. I trust this man, this priest of Kinnereth. He's a good man. He will do what he says. He is here to help. He has only good graces, only the best intentions, regardless of what you think of me.
Roll a persuasion check with... No, it would have been with advantage because of Luke and Lenny's help, but because of your history with this particular Spriggan, it's a disadvantage, so now it evens out, so you've just got a straight roll.
Persuasion. So 16.
16. She slowly walks forward, and the bears follow her. She gets closer. She totally ignores you. After your little talk, Mouse, she just turns to Luke and she holds out her hand, and you feel the bark, the roughness of the bark, and you feel the light, and you can hear the buzzing of tiny little bugs and torch bugs and ladybirds and moths and flowers, all sort of like intertwined inside the tree. It's going in and out. And she lays her, puts her hand over yours that's holding the holy symbol, and says, and you can hear again in your mind, are you truly one of her agents? So what do you do, Luke?
I look directly at the Spriggan, and then I cast my eyes to the heavens, and say, yes, I'm loyal to Kinnereth. Kinnereth has sent me here, and it is by her will that I am here. It is by her will that I try to undo this evil that has been wrought upon this forest. And I pray to her to show guidance to you and to me that we are on the right path. I feel that we are. I'm certain that we are.
Then prove to me that you are her vessel on Tamriel. She squeezes your hand a little tighter.
And trying to think what spell I might have. Oh, there we go. Okay. Kine has blessed me. She has given me access to powers that no normal cleric would have, no normal priest would have. I speak with her voice. I boom with her power. And with that, I look off to the side. I look above. Point my sort of my holy symbol up, and just clearly away from everybody. So that it goes up in the air. I cast my last spell, and I cast Thunderwave, and I said, by the power of Kine, we are working together to save this forest. And I cast Thunderwave and just cast a huge boom over this little clearing in an effort to show that I wield the power of Kine.
Explodes out into the air. And as it does, both the birds go, "Ah!" and sort of like screaming out into the air as they hear the thunderous boom. And you hear birds flying off in the forward areas. And sort of like the cloud sky kind of clears open and all the stars come in. She says, she turns to Lenny, and you can hear in all your minds now. She goes, you do not have to return your gift. You can keep it until you feel it's time. We thank you. And Lenny just reaches out, picks up the hammer again and pulls it back. And then she looks at you and she goes, I am trusting you, emissary of Kine. And with that, the hand that's over the top of your hand sort of like kind of opens up, and she kind of like splits and opens, and then you can see sort of like, this golden divine light sparkling around this large round palm-sized piece of bark on the inside, which all the light seems to stem from and go off in different, and it seems to be lighting it up. And she reaches in with the other hand and sort of like, detaches it, but it's still releasing light from it down. The light's now passing from it down her hand to keep her going. And she passes it to you.
And I take it very reverently. Before I take it, I let my holy symbol drop on its cord around my neck, and I hand the bottle of skooma to Mouse, and I take the taproot very reverently in both hands, and I nod to her. Thank you.
She has to. She goes. Treat my friend. She looks back at the two bears. She goes, make sure you treat my friends well. They have been with me for quite some time now. I've grown attached. And then she lets go of the taproot, and then sort of like all the light dissipates to her, and she just turns into a solid piece of lifeless wood. Mm. And you see the two bears just go. And they sort of like, they sit down. And she's just standing there, kind of like a carved out wooden statue.
Well,
wow.
room. The bears are just lying down.
I feel like I should walk over to one of them and pour a little bit of the skooma into my hand and see if it will lick some of it from the palm of my hand.
As you get within like 10 feet of it, it's sort of like, it's giving you definitely giving you the evil eye.
All right, then I back very quietly away.
They sort of like they're sort of like kind of like looking at you, staring at you, all three of you. What are you doing?
We are, well, I look at Luke.
I think we should get this back to Vrusa. And after she has released her antidote, we come back and see if there's anything that can be done for these poor creatures.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So you guys head back up the route. So you're going to try and head back through the forested area, or are you going to hang a right and get back out onto the road?
Well, knowing what Mouse learned the last time on the way back, I think he knows that the quickest way is to head for the road, and or he hopes it is anyway. We want to go the fastest route. So yes, up the road.
Okay, so you're running on fumes now. Literally, all of you have definitely now got a point of exhaustion. There's no roll necessary. It's been going so long now, and especially with that stressful situation there, sort of like your mind's tired. You all head back up, and it takes you a few hours, but you do eventually make it back to the forgotten the name of it now. To the Alchemist's Lair. Back to Falkreath Tower, and back through the other way and across the river. So it's been a few hours. Probably getting in the early hours of the morning now. Butty and Luke, Butty and Jaquai, is there anything you guys would like to have accomplished or talked about or chatted about in the time that you've been? Hello?
Yep.
We're here.
I thought you cut out. So just confirming with the alchemist that we've got everything prepared we need except for the taproot.
Yes, she's using the water from the river that seems to be flowing through. That's passing the poison on, but she doesn't seem to have too much of a worry for that. And she, as you're getting all the ingredients ready, she's sort of like burning them up and using all three alchemy tables at the same time. She needs your help getting from one table to the other, and you probably look around and sort of like try and source a stool or something like that she can sit by, but she needs a lot of help to be able to go around, and sometimes she stops and sort of like has to take a breather for a bit, and you offer her some water from your pack and some food and things like that. In the meantime, she does have a quick look, and literally it takes her like a couple of seconds, and she has a look at those potions that you pulled out, and she tells you that one of the potions is a potion of superior healing, a potion of climbing, and a potion of water breathing.
My.
And she just looks at them and she goes, "He's been a busy little bastard." So in the early hours of the morning, Luke, Lenneal, and George all return, and you guys are back in the same room together with...
Is Mouse staying at the clearing?
There's
I
nobody
don't.
there.
I don't think there's any need.
No,
It
you
was-
said
it was-
Luke. You just said Luke, Laniel, and George. So you didn't
Oh.
mention Mouse. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually thinking about the hostage thing, but given that she sort of
yeah, she
went all tree-ish on us, I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do?
Well, give her the taproot for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give her the business.
So, you head off and to the other side of the water there, and you hand her the taproot, and she goes, "Well, you got it. Well, don't keep me in suspense. What happened?"
Kind blessed me with the right words. We were able to get the taproot without violence to the Spriggan or to her two very sick animal companions.
Well done, you. Because I've heard they can be difficult to deal with. But yes, thank you very much. And she goes over to the all through the night while you've been off. There, she's been preparing, and it looks like it's all bubbling away, and it's starting to produce a cloud of its own. But this seems to be a very sort of like a thin cloud. It's not this like heavy, dark, choking smoke that was coming out of it before. It's sort of like this sort of like light steam with a little bit of green sort of like flecks in it. And she gets the taproot and starts to prepare things, and most of it is just snipping off little bits from here, but it's more, it seems to you, Luke, that this is more ceremony than it is alchemy for some of the way she's preparing it, and still keeping the taproot whole. And as she approaches the cauldron, and she sort of like holds it to you, and she goes, maybe a little blessing wouldn't hurt. She's holding the taproot out to you.
And I bless the taproot and her, and in game terms, I cast the guidance cantrip on her to give her I think what is it, +4, a D4 on her skill check to the extent she's gonna make one.
Yeah. So she you see the holy light surrounding her and the taproot, and she kind of with a finger and a thumb in this finger sort of like hold either end, and it's sort of like trying kind of twist it, and you hear a slight crack as she opens it, and then she sort of like drops it into the cauldron, and then you just see this bright yellow golden light just emanate from it, and it sort of like opens up, and she just like breathes in the fumes, and she sort of like gets Lenny and George to get closer to her, and she takes a very large spoon that she found on the alchemy tables, and she dips it in. She goes, please let them be stupid enough to tell me told me exactly what was in it. And she takes a sip from the spoon, and then you see she gets surrounded by this golden light with green flecks in it that sort of like kind of swirls around, kind of like in a spiral all the way down to the top, and it suddenly dissipates. And then she starts breathing, and then she turns around and looks, and then you can see all the black lines and the veins just disappear from the chest and across the side of the neck, just all completely vanish, and the gaunt look in her eyes. She looks very fucking tired and sort of like still withdrawn, but it seems to have revitalized her. She goes, Thank you. She looks to you like thank you, and you just see the relief over. Whereas her face has been mostly hard and stone for most of this, as she's been going through it, it's now just like completely fallen. And she's sort of like she just like hands shaking. She's just dipping the spoon in again, and sort of like passing it to George. And George very sort of like deftly sort of like takes just a big gulp of it, and Lenny again the same, just takes a big gulp, and then you just see both of them as you see all the poison just sort of like disappear off from the sides of their skin, and it just completely vanishes. Again, you see the swirling golden and green light flecks just swirling around them in a sort of like in a swirl. She turns around and collapses, exhausted, and just I'm going to sleep for an age. Please, somebody get me to the bed.
But wait, what should we do? Should we pour it into the water?
You should take some, bottle it. For those that won't believe you, bottle as much as you can. Probably to have the same effect as what his did. You'd probably only be able to take about a quarter of this and save it yourself, just in case people need a direct consume if they don't drink from it, if it doesn't get to everybody. But yes, the rest of it, dump it in the river to destroy the poisons.
Okay, well, I guess Mouse still has that one vial of skooma. He's going to dump that on the floor.
Well, and presumably this guy's got some empty alchemy vials as well.
Yeah, you find a good few of them, probably about a good 10 or 15 of them inside the chest there at the back.
And you're still holding a bunch, Luke, right, of filled vials of skooma. We can dump those out.
Yeah, I'll hold back, half a dozen or so of those, just in case they're needed for any reason. But then we'll make.
Oh, sure, just in case they're needed. All right, I understand now.
She sees the
you have never made a less funny remark to Luke. Never in your life have you made a less funny comment.
Sorry, that was meta.
And
no, it's okay. No, it's actually completely in character for Mouse to do something like that.
Yeah, it is actually.
And Jaquia holds out a spoonful of the liquid to Lenny.
Yeah, Lenny sort of like gulps it down. I will say she's. Rusa goes, you know the poison's in those too, right? That's how he was getting his crew. It destroys. It introduces the curse, but it stems its effects because of the rage or the adrenaline type of effect of the skooma. But all of those are all infected as well.
Yeah, we know. We're going to save a few and give them to the Jarl. So that what is her name? What's
Nenya?
Oh geez, yeah. So that Nenya can have them as evidence. And but yeah, we're no one will ever take these.
Good. And,
so I'm going to make sure to reserve a nice bear-sized portion of the potion too, in a slightly larger bottle.
Yeah.
Because we promised.
So you get a few vials and things like that, and Lenny and George help Rusa back into that other room again, in that caged off room, and bring her to the bed, and she just like falls on there and falls instantly asleep, totally exhausted. And they come back out, and you're all sort of like congregated around the cauldron, and it's sort of like, happy in the knowledge that you've got plenty of portions of here to directly apply to people that as needed, just in case. But you're all sort of like standing around it.
So I look at Mouse and say, well, shall we do as she says and add it to the river?
Yes, we should.
So I'll say another blessing over the cauldron, and with Mouse's help, we'll tip it into the river.
Yeah, easy enough. They're both used there, and roll was it a dexterity check? Both of yous.
20.
Sorry, what did you get, Luke?
13.
13. 13. Yeah, you're fine, Mouse, but you take about was it 1d4 fire damage? Let's have a look here. What do you take? Oh, 4. You take 4 fire damage.
Yeah. Get it. Clumsy with exhaustion.
Yeah. But the both of you push it over and toss it over into the river. And again, you see, in contrast to the previous time of when you threw this in, it's kind of like a catharsis. When you dump it in, you see the golden glow with the green flecks of magic into it infuse itself inside the water again, and it shoots down up stream to the left as you're looking at it from there, and downstream again to the right as it just like suffuses with the water and spreads out both sides. You have a good feeling from the ferocity of the magic and sort of like the way it sort of like explodes with light, that it's definitely worked, and it's hopefully going to spread out and have an effect to destroy the poison that had been spread out before.
Nice.
With that, you guys are all unbelievably exhausted. And the relief at the end of the day just all takes you, and you can think of nothing but getting some rest.
Yeah, Mouse is going to basically collapse on the floor right there.
Yeah, same.
How long have we been going for the second half? Is this a good time to
Well,
end, or has it only been a little while?
no, it's been a little under an hour, maybe.
Do we can move on if you guys want. If you want to move on till after you have a full night's rest and wake up the next morning.
It's up to where you want to break the episode. That's all.
That's fine.
So I do want to go with Mouse back to the clearing and see if we can and give the bears a healthy dose of the potion.
And Luke, I think we should reserve a little bit to pour on the roots of the Spriggan and see if it helps. It's, after all, it's her essence that made this. Perhaps if we pour it at the root where she stands, it might bring her back.
Yeah. So is this is the Spriggan Grove on the way back to Falkreath, or the wrong direction?
It is, yes.
Okay, well then we can So
we no longer have to go to Whiterun, or I thought we have to go to Whiterun, but Lenny is cured now, so but we have a mission in Whiterun, do we not?
Well, Jaquai needs to go to Whiterun. I believe Jaquai.
Right, to meet up with the caravan.
So we could, in game terms, not character terms, in game terms, if we want to let Body and Jaquai go up to Whiterun, then have a little bit, because it's been the Luke and Mouse show this episode. We could let Jaquai and Body head to Whiterun, and we could catch up with them after doing our little errand. Or it's up to the group. Up to you, Colin.
I know it's up to you guys if you guys want to split the party, but you were invited back to Falkreath to get your, bring back the tales of your success. As you're talking like this, I assume in the morning after you all wake up, Avrusa and Lenny and George, they join you as you're, I assume, having breakfast. And Avrusa does say, she goes, as you're all sitting around him talking and discussing, she goes, so sorry for my early exit last night, shall I say. I'm usually much more of a gracious or sort of like experienced host, but I found myself in need of a good night's rest.
Thank you for what you've done.
No thanks, thank you. I would know more of my saviors, of my rescuers. Who are you? Thank you for coming to save me from that vile piece of crap, filthy Enwa. Who do I have to thank for my rescue?
For me, you should thank Kine.
And you are?
I'm Luke.
Ah. And what brings you here, Luke?
In most literal fashion, I'm in Skyrim at the behest of Kine, and everyone you see here are people that have helped me. We all have reasons to be here, and I think in many respects, this is perhaps not the end, but it is certainly a major part of why I think I was sent here. And we encountered Lenny here. We brought him with us. He was very concerned about George, so it's been it's been an interesting journey, and one that I'm happy that Kind has seen fit to lead me on.
Well, I thank you, and I thank your lady. Although not my lady, she I know she does great works for a great many, and I thank you and her, and you, young Imperial. I seem to remember you jumping at every horrible command I gave out yesterday. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, my lady. My name is Mouse. I'm just a guide.
Well, you were of great help yesterday, and can't thank you enough for listening to an old crone's unapologetic demands last night. You were quick to help, and it was you gave no pause and asked no questions, which I find rare in assistance and helpful people. They always want to know more and ask questions, and you just jumped to and got to it.
Well, my lady, I help people that help me. That's what keeps us alive.
Azura would like you very much, I think. And you, young Khajiit.
I'm usually the one that gives pause.
She does laugh. And I have heard from our two young friends here that you struck the fatal blow that got rid of this horrible monster. Thank you very, very much. If there's anything that you would ever need of me, you ask away. Ask anything.
So I do have a question. I am here in Skyrim looking for my brothers on rent. And is that a name you're familiar with? You may have heard of him as Zarindar.
Zarindar. Let's see. I would probably say Mouse and Luke. Roll intelligence checks. I'm afraid I haven't heard of many Khajiit names. I don't leave my farm very often, not unless somebody comes in and forcibly removes me from it.
So you wanted Mouse to roll an intelligence check?
Yeah, you and Luke.
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh, nice. 15 for me.
Kaboom, guys. Good job.
You know that he says the name Zanren, which sounds like any other Khajiit name that you've heard, but when he says maybe you've heard of him as Zenren Da, both of you would know that if somebody's name has the suffix dar in their name, this one is somebody who is regarded as very skillful in the art of stealth, very good at taking stuff that necessarily doesn't belong to them, and bit of a trickster, but highly regarded in Khajiit society. This is not a bad thing. It's a title of respect to somebody who is very daring. But with your natural 20, you definitely know that there's a couple of Dars out there, and within the Thieves Guild, especially if it was a Khajiit that was named something that had the name suffix with a Dar, he would be held in very high regard.
Can with that 20, can Mouse ask Jaquai a question about a group to which his brother might belong? If you get my
you can ask him away. He's sitting right there.
Jaquai, do you think your brother was was your brother Rinrindra?
I don't know. My brother left the monastery when I was very young. And all I know of him is, that he cared for me and watched out for me up until the time that he left me at the monastery. But I was a very young Khajiit.
The Rinrindra are formidable. Interesting.
And my master had no knowledge of what my brother was doing in Skyrim. It wasn't until a stranger came to the monastery looking for him and referred to him as Zanrindar that we had ever heard that.
Oh,
Mouse wanders off.
she says, "Oh well, I'm really sorry to hear that. I really hope you find it." She goes, "I myself have a younger sister who I always looked out for. If he is lost, know that he is always thinking of you. We always think of the younger one. She's out there somewhere, getting into trouble, no doubt. But when I do see her, it's always a happy time, and then it always leads to arguments when she's about to leave again. But I'm sure it'll be the same for you. There's gladness, and it's great when you're close enough to argue. I hope you find it."
Thank you. And
young elf, very young elf by the looks of it. I didn't know anyone from the Dominion so young would be allowed to travel this far, especially to the human lands now. What with the Dominion's control over the Valen Wood.
What they don't know won't hurt them.
Spoken just exactly like my younger sister. Yes, young ones should not always follow the rules. They're definitely only 50% of the time should follow the rules, and probably only 1% of the time know when that time is. You to you, and I thank you for your help, and I thank you for your songs last night.
Oh, I quite enjoyed you watching you perform your craft. It was quite enjoyable, and thank you for the opportunity to expose that sort of information and knowledge to me. As a bard, I'm always trying to draw from the environment and get people's stories. One thing I do want to ask before we move on, what is your favorite story in the history of alchemy? What is the most moving, the most important? What is the biggest alchemy story to you? What has happened? What is the most important bit of knowledge that you could pass on to a bard?
I suppose there is a couple. There was my master, as our young Khajiit friend here was talking about his master. I had my master, Sindarian, and his legend was large and well known, but eventually he disappeared for some time, and it wasn't until that his legend went on well past his death, which is always good. Legends should surpass their own lifetime, and his did. He found, as you've probably noticed over there, not very well known, apart from in the alchemy world, is the discovery of the Crimson Nern root, which was discovered by another legend. The legend of Skyrim, the Dragonborn discovered my old master's body in the depths of a Dwemer ruin, and found his research on the Crimson Nern root, and even managed to return with enough of a supply to lead to many, many revelations in the alchemy world that are now just being felt. It was through his knowledge as well. I'm happy to say that he's almost as quick a study as you are, young Butty.
My next question was going to be about any connections to the Dragonborn, so thank you for your history.
You are very welcome. If whenever I see him next, I will definitely tell him of all my friends here, and tell him of you, that you're looking out for him. I haven't seen him in a number of years, but he comes by now and again, mostly for some more noon roots. But it's been a number of years since I've seen him. But old friends from afar. And you, my big Nord friend, probably you. I have seen some big Nords in my time, but you, you quite literally take the cake. I noticed that was mostly what you went for at breakfast here. Sweet things. And you can see Lenny's always going for the sweet breads and sort of like, and he's like mouthful, and he's going, thank you for. He sort of like scuffs it down. And he goes, thank you for getting rid of this, and he looks to George and he goes, thanks for giving me back, George. It was I really liked the bright lights, and when I drank the potion, it felt made me feel really good, a lot better than I have been in quite a long time. He goes, and what brings you here? He goes, oh, we're going to join the companions. Anarchy says that great Nord warriors need to join the companions, so I'm gonna go with George, and he's gonna get me to join the companions. And George has got a smile on her face. He goes, yes, we are. Bruce looks at him and he goes, and young Redguard, nice long lady like yourself, out amongst all these walls. She goes, he goes, what brings you here? She said, as you look at George, she has a harshness to her eyes. The rest of her face is kind of emotionless, but she has a harshness to her eyes. She goes, just one mistake after another. Seems fate does not treat idiots kindly. And I am the biggest idiot of them all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to hear you so down on yourself, but you seem to have a great friend there. I very much doubt he sees you as an idiot. And George goes, family doesn't really look at you that way. Looks at yourself. Until they truly see you doing something stupid. And I came here with my father. We came to Dawnstar in search of knowledge, some information to help the Alec here. There was somebody in Skyrim that he knew that they knew something. So we came. Arrived at Dawnstar by ship, trying to sneak our way in, and we did. And then we set out on the march south. Didn't even see them coming. You think 7-foot elves in all black you'd be able to spot from a mile away. But no. We came around a snowdrift and instantly saw us, and they didn't even hold back. One of them with a robe on, casters, just flicked his hand, and a creature made of ice sprung out of nothing and landed on its giant fist on my father's head in a second before I could even move. He wouldn't he wouldn't go down just from that, but he told me to go. So, being the good soldier I am, I ran and attacked. But that wasn't the go he meant. Within seconds, they just had my weapons and had me on the ground. And then I found that I was now an orphan. I really, really fucking hate Skyrim. And I really fucking hate Talmor. So I'm gonna get rid of everything that I hate. And I'm not leaving until I have. Averusa says, I am sorry. George just sort of like kind of looks away. She goes, well, I thank you and all of you for your help, but perhaps you should stay away from us. She looks at Lenny. She goes, we are two fated idiots, fated to be together, huh, Lenny? We're going to put the past behind us. And then she sort of like continues eating. So you all start to slowly, after that, start to pack up and get ready and have a last look around to make sure you've gotten every bits of alchemy supplies. And she's taking Averusa sort of like, oh, take that, oh, that will be handy, and that will be handy. But you all sort of like gather up all your supplies and start to head out. And that's where we'll end it there. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, Skyrim 10AD. And hopefully you'll join us next time as we return to Falkreath, the heroes of the hour, and gain their reward back from Sid Gear and see what reward they get as I head back to Falkreath Hold. Thank you very much, everyone.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Great story.
Hey, bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Skyrim 10AD would like to thank Tabletop Audio for the use of their music in this podcast. If you would like to find more music like this, just go to tabletopaudio.com for more information. Thank you.
Thank you for downloading this edition of Skyrim 10AD. Email the show at skyrim10ad@gmail.com. For more information, please visit asapodcasting.com, where you will find a Skyrim Addict podcast, the Fallout feed, and our Amazon link, which benefits the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Find our social media in the show notes. Thanks for listening.